Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
I love a good surprise in baseball. There's almost nothing more rewarding than when a young player or a journeyman player, in Nestor Cortes Jr.'s case, both, who you're not expecting to contribute a ton to the team, breaks out and has a really good year. And that's exactly what Nestor Cortes did in 2021. In 79 career innings prior to 2021, Nestor Cortes Jr. had an ERA of 6.72, a fielding independent pitching, or FIP, of 6.79, and he was allowing more than 1.7 base runners per inning, and he was allowing a ton of home runs, 24 home runs allowed in 79 career innings. That's almost 50 over the course of a full season. Then, as if out of nowhere, he stepped up his game in 2021. 93 innings, 2.90 ERA, 103 strikeouts, 25 walks, the best strikeout to walk ratio of his career. After becoming a full-time starter on July 28th, he pitched 65 1/3 innings, posted a 3.31 ERA, though somewhat of a higher FIP of 4.43, and batters hit just .232 against him. I went over to the Baseball Savant website, that's the StatCast website, to take a look at the numbers and the metrics, and I was astonished to see that despite his fastball velocity being in just the 7th percentile of the league, he ranks in the 77th percentile in strikeouts, in the 83rd percentile in expected ERA, and in the 80th percentile in expected batting average. He is the epitome of a crafty lefty, and we've seen this before. Jamie Moyer, Ted Lilly, Jim Cott, welcome to the Hall of Fame, by the way, Tommy John, CC Sabathia towards the end of his career when he was no longer a power pitcher, became kind of a crafty lefty. Even Andy Pettitte, to a degree. Those guys had to learn to pitch without good velocity later in their career. And I think it's a good sign that Nestor Cortes has learned to do it a bit earlier in his career. These crafty lefties, they just know how to pitch and get batters out despite not having the best stuff in the world. They can make a pitch to get a double play when they need to. They can get a strikeout when they absolutely have to, though they'd prefer to be efficient with their pitches. Batters hit just 196 off of Nestor Cortes' fastball, which means that it was probably a bit sneaky or had some late life. Maybe guys don't pick it up very well out of his hand. His slider was just okay. Hitters hit 233. His cutter wasn't great. Hitters hit 271 against that pitch. And his changeup was not a good pitch. Hitters hit 281 against it. So really, it's sneaky fastball and command that made him pretty effective. You would drop down and throw that Laredo fastball, surprise hitters. One thing I love about Nestor Cortes Jr., though, is that he's just going to be 27 years old, so he may improve even more this season under the tutelage of pitching coach Matt Blake. One thing to be concerned about is that in his 12 starts, he only made it past the 6th inning twice. He was usually done in the 5th. That's obviously not ideal, but in today's game, you can get by with that type of pitcher if you have a good bullpen. There's a reason I paired up the Nestor Cortes and Domingo Germán previews in the same day. I think those two can combine to make a heck of a 4th or 5th spot in the rotation in 2022. Let Nestor be nasty for 5 innings, and then let Germán come in and get you to those high leverage relievers later in the game. Nestor is no longer a surprise. The league is going to have to take a look at what made him effective and try and counter it next season. He's a big leaguer now, and anyone who's been there can tell you that it's even harder to stay in the big leagues than it is to make the big leagues in the first place, because the league will adjust to you. How will Nestor adjust back? That's what the comments are for. Let me know in the comments how you think Nestor Cortes will do in 2022 and what role you envision him playing in the pitching staff. Oh, and check out the other previews. We've got a whole bunch of them now, a few more to go, and then when we're all done, I'll put them all into one big video and make that available. But the Yankees might add a few more players, so I don't want to do that just yet. So stay tuned. I'll see you next time.